guys! Today I'm reviewing the Oster Versa Performance Blender. The blender measures 17 inches tall and 6 inches wide. The base and jar together weigh 7 pounds. An instruction manual and recipe book are included with the unit. This blender comes with a 7-year warranty. This Oster has a 1100 watt motor and an all-metal drive construction, so it should be durable. As you can see, this model comes with a lot of parts. A 64-ounce BPA-free plastic jar with cup and milliliter measurements, a lid, and filler cap. You can open the cap to add ingredients while blending and steam to escape when blending hot foods. This cap can also be used to unscrew or tighten the bottom of the jar, like this. Here's the blade, sealing ring, and threaded jar bottom. You can always put the jar on the countertop and screw on the bottom. The jar sits easily on top of the base. Also included with this model is a 5-cup food processor bowl, an S blade that goes into the food processor, a blade shaft to use with the disc. You can slice on one side and shred on the other, food pusher, and the cover. This model also comes with two 20-ounce BPA-free cups with lids. They are dishwasher safe. The cup has 10-ounce, 20-ounce, and milliliter markings. There's a blade and sealing ring that goes over the cup. There should be a threaded cap which is supposed to go over this and fit on the base, but that was missing from my box, so I can't show you how to use this. Your purchase will hopefully include the cap that fits into the base, so you can blend drinks in this as you would the blender jar. The base has a control panel with manual and pre-programmed settings. Here's the power button to turn the blender on and off. There's one pre-programmed setting for dips and salsas, and a second for smoothies and frozen drinks. At the end of these 2 cycles, the blender shuts off automatically. Turn this knob to use the 3 speed settings, low, medium, and high, and push to start and stop. You can change the speed while blending. There's also a pulse option which you press and let go manually. Use the pulse to crush ice and chop food. The stainless steel blades alternate backward and forward to process food when using the program settings. There's also a reverse blend button. To use this button, choose the speed and press and hold the button. Let go to stop. To start the blender, press the power button and the light will blink. The blinking red light means the blender is ready to use. Choose a pre-programmed setting. If you want to change to another setting while blending, push the knob to stop. The blender turns off automatically if you don't use it for several minutes. First, we'll crush ice. The maximum you can crush without liquid is 6 large ice cubes using the pulse button. Here's my standard ice cube tray. I'm going to put in 6 standard ice cubes. Put the lid on, turn the machine on, and I'll use the pulse button. Turn the machine off, take the lid off. The ice is processed. It did a decent job. It's not like snow, but it is nicely processed. There are no big chunks of ice, so all the ice cubes were processed. Now you can crush a lot more ice in this blender. You just have to add water and the ice pretty much has to be floating in it. You can process the ice and drain off the water. Next, I'm going to make a frozen fruit smoothie. I've got some frozen mixed berries. These are strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries. About a cup. With this blender, you do have to add enough liquid for it to blend properly, so the fruit has to be floating in the liquid. I'll pour in my milk. Now the fruit is floating. Put the cover on, turn the machine on, and I'll use the pre-programmed smoothie setting. It's a good idea to hold on to the blender while it's going. cycle has ended and the blender turned itself off automatically. In the beginning, as it was starting and stopping, you could see the ingredients being blended backward and forward. Let's pour this out. There are no chunks of fruit. I'll taste this. It's pretty smooth. Now this blender is not going to pulverize the berry seeds. You really need a much higher end blender for that. But this smoothie is smooth with no chunks. It has a good texture. I had completely forgot to add my sugar when I made this smoothie, so I just poured this back in, added the sugar, and pulsed this for a few times on high, and now the consistency is extremely smooth. It's very impressive, and even some of the seeds have been broken down. So if you're using frozen fruit, especially frozen berries, I think it really helps to use the pulse setting after the smoothie setting is finished. I have to say I am very impressed with the consistency of this smoothie. Next I'll make a vegetable smoothie. I'm using half a cup of water and a couple of ice cubes. Got half a cucumber cut up into about 1-inch pieces, 1 small tomato, some spinach leaves and stems, and a little bit of red onion, also a little bit of salt. Put it all in the blender. With the spinach, I have leaves and stems. Turn the machine on. With this smoothie, I'm not going to use the pre-programmed settings. I'm going to put the speed to high and just push the button. Turn the machine off. It's about a minute. A minute's a good amount of time for a smoothie. Don't blend boiling liquids in this unit. You can use hot liquids with the steam vent open. It looks smooth. There are no chunks in the blender. I'll taste this. It's a really good texture. It's very smooth. The stems, leaves of the spinach, and all the other vegetables are completely broken down. Really good job on this smoothie. There's very little grittiness. Even most of the tomato seeds seem to have been broken down. For cleanup, the jar can be washed in warm soapy water or blend for 30 seconds with warm soapy water and rinse. The lid, cap, and blade are dishwasher safe. On the top rack only. The sealing ring is dishwasher safe. Of course, you can hand wash all the parts. The base can be wiped down with a damp cloth. Next, let's try the food processor. First thing, this adapter has to be attached to the bowl. To remove it for cleaning, put the bowl upside down, hold the adapter, and turn the bowl clockwise. You'll hear that loud snap and think you broke something, but you haven't. This adapter should not be washed. You have to remove it before cleaning the bowl. To put the adapter on, place it down, and just turn the bowl. You'll hear that click and you know that it's locked on. The bowl simply sits on the base. Put the S-blade in the bowl and just turn it, make sure that it's sitting properly. There is a food processing chart in the manual. I'm putting in 2 medium onions cut into about 1-inch pieces. There is a max line for the amount of liquid you can put in the bowl. It's about 1.5 cups. The bowl holds 5 cups of ingredients. Match the black arrow with the unlock picture on the bowl. Push it down and turn. You'll hear it lock. With the food processor, you can use a low or medium setting. I'm going to put it on the medium setting. You can also use the pulse tab with the food processor. You cannot use high speed, program settings, or the reverse tab. I'm going to pulse a few times because that really is the best way to chop onions. Turn the unit on. Take the blade out. The bowl just comes straight up. There are a few chunks that are stuck on top that weren't processed. You might want to pulse once or twice and then open the bowl, scrape it down, pulse another 2 times to get a more even mince. But this did a decent job on the onions. As you can see, this is finely minced. Pulse less if you want a bigger cut. Next, I'll use the disc. Take out the S blade and put on the adapter. Goes right in the middle. First, I'm going to slice cucumbers, so the slicing blade is going to be on top. It fits right on top of the shaft. This cucumber is slim, but it's not going to fit whole into the chute. So I'm going to slice this in half. Put the cover on. I'll put the cucumber in the slot. You can fit 2 halves in there at the same time. We'll use the food pusher to push the cucumber down the tube. The setting is on medium and I'll push the button to start the machine. You want to make sure to hold the feed tube with one hand and push down with the other hand. Use these bigger holes to remove the disc. You can see the cucumber is sliced evenly. When you put the cover on, make sure this part goes into the middle of the shaft. The slices are about 1/8 of an inch. This is perfect to put in salads. Next, I'll turn the disc around to shred the cabbage. I've cut the cabbage so it will fit into the chute. We'll use the same medium setting. The bowl is filling up, so I'm going to empty it. So half of a medium red cabbage has filled up the bowl. As you can see, the cabbage has been processed. Most of it's been processed nicely. There are some big pieces that were not processed. Overall, it's a decent job. It's an acceptable job. So I shredded a little bit more cabbage. There's some big pieces on top that are not processed. So the shredding part is definitely not perfect. There's some big pieces, some small pieces, some medium-sized pieces. Of course, you can use this for coleslaw, but the slicing is much more even than the shredding. For cleanup, the bowl, blade, disc, and shaft can be washed in warm soapy water. This Oster model right now is about $100, which is a decent value. You're getting a very good blender, decent food processor, and 2 cups. If you want to try this Oster Versa, I've put a link in the description below. I hope you found this review helpful. Subscribe for more reviews, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.